Well, once again, Nebraska loses for the second time this season to Indiana, 82-74 here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Now, Nebraska trailed the Hoosiers by as much as 19 points at one point in the second half, but Nebraska ultimately cut it down to 6. However, it was just a little too late. What did you see from this team tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of indicative of their entire season, where there were stretches where they looked unstoppable. I mean, the start of the game, Nebraska was hitting everything. Their offense was clicking exactly the way they wanted to. They were limiting paint touches. They were doing all the things that they wanted to do. And then something snapped, where they get on an 11-0 run and then suddenly you can't buy a bucket, allow Indiana to come back and take the lead going into halftime. And then the second half, it eventually built up to a 19-point deficit. And like you said, they made a valiant comeback to cut that thing down to 2 possessions. But once again, too little, too late, because Nebraska dug themselves into a hole that was too steep to climb out of. They just left themselves with not enough time to make up for all the things that they screwed up on as over the course of the game. And so, it's frustrating. I guess there's encouraging that there's at least some more flashes of this team being able to play at a high level in conference play. But you look at the last few games, the massive deficits they've put themselves in. You're not going to beat anybody doing that. When you're going down by 18, 19, 25 points, that's a recipe for disaster more often than not. And this team is just not built to withstand that type of collapse. So, again, like I said, it's kind of more of the same. It's frustrating, I know, for fans, but especially for Fred Hoiberg, who, sees what his team is capable of, but they have yet to string together 40 full minutes of that.
Yeah, and so something uncharacteristic of this team tonight was the turnovers. Hoiberg said in his press conference. Several turnovers plagued Nebraska in that second half. What was that caused by?
Yeah, especially late. They cut it down to 8 points. They finally got it back to 8 for being down by 19. And then there was a stretch of 7 possessions where they went turnover, air ball out of bounds, turnover, another turnover, and then a blocked shot. So, an absolute disaster of a stretch at a key point of the game where they had a chance to come back and potentially close that lead and even reclaim the lead. Instead, they let Indiana basically hang out there with that lead despite going nearly 8 minutes without a field goal. Those are the types of things. When Indiana's playing that poorly and you're at home, you have to be able to take advantage. And once again, Nebraska did not, because of that stretch where they dug themselves too deep for them to climb out.
All right, well, we'll see if Nebraska can get a couple of those things fixed, turnovers, missed shots, things like that, when they come back. But for now, I'm Grace Harmon from Pinnacle Bank Arena for Robin Washut and HuskerOnline.com.